basically trying to level up, bro. Like, I'm just basically leveling up.
Already rolling. Good one, what's
Already
good?
rolling.
Shit. Already rolling.
You feel me? Already rolling.
Yay. All right. Already rolling, y'all. What's good? It's your boy Silver, and I'm back again with the exclusive SilverView. I like to call these things on Instagram Live now, with the amazing and talented Ohio native Tianna Bartoletta. I like to call her Tianna B on this interview just for short and sweet. This lady is very, very inspirational to me and to a whole lot of other people, man. I can't wait for her to tap in with me today. And we're just going to get everyone in, and hopefully we can just get this time and be able to, pick her brain with what's been going on in her life, what's been going on in the year 2020, and just talk to her and, share with her how much she really inspired me to really do a lot back in the day when I was running myself. So I'm really excited for this. I'm just really energetic, and I cannot wait for her to tap in. So we are just going to let, everyone come on in, and we'll be getting this thing going in a short, sweet minute. What up, though? Hey, and that's her right there, actually, right on cue. So I'm about to get her in here right now. This is so cool.
Hello.
How you
Hello.
doing? How you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing good. It is nice to meet you, Miss T.
Nice to meet you.
Awesome. I was just telling everyone that you are an Ohio native. I didn't really want to start, bragging about you just because I will let you do all that. But yes,
Oh,
if everyone don't know who I'm talking to, this is Tianna Bartoletta, a Ohio native, I would like to say two-time Olympian, three-time gold champion. That's something I like to say is super impressive. Can I ask you just short and sweet, because I used to do track when I was in high school and I
yeah.
love running to this day. How was it for the first time you just running in the Olympics, short and sweet, like the Olympics itself? How was that?
Honestly, the very first team was like, I can't believe I'm here. Because it was just one of those situations where you come from Elyria, Ohio. You're like,
Okay.
how far can one go from such humble beginnings, right? And then you look
Yes, ma'am.
around and you're in London, you're in this huge stadium, and track and field athletes, we don't get to have a stadium experience all the time. It's usually
Yeah.
just a track and some bleachers. So
Yeah.
already you're like, this is next level. And then you realize and you understand that you are at the top of the top in your sport. This is the thing that most people, work a lifetime to pursue, and very few people actually do. So then you're both humbled and honored to be in a situation like that. And then, of course, you're scared shitless because it's the Olympics and now you got to turn up.
Yeah. You got millions
It's
of
all
eyes
of
on
that.
you. Yes. Yes. Where was the coolest place, like, for you, like, to say, wow, I actually ran here? Like, was it Rio?
Mm.
Was it London?
I mean, of all the cities around the world, I think the coolest place I ran in a track meet at was Morocco.
Wow. Why
Yeah,
is
the
that?
coolest. Hmm?
Why is that?
Because Morocco is such an interesting place. It's northern Africa, yet looks like it was picked right up out of the Middle East and dropped into the African continent.
Wow.
Um, they speak, French, Spanish, Arabic, all in the same place. Even though you're there for a track meet, you are not nearly as isolated from the culture as you can be in other places, because we arrive to these foreign countries and we're whisked away by our drivers to the hotel. And then we go from the hotel to the track in little vans. But in Morocco, it's like you smell the spices in the air. You
Wow.
hear the chatter of the locals. You see the bargaining in the marketplace on your way to the track. You are not separate from that experience. It's very much integrated. And then you see all those same people show up at the meet, just like, oh, it's a Saturday, there's a track meet going on, let's see what's what.
Wow.
And it's all the same people, and it's just, it feels so good to just be dropped in the middle of such a lively culture.
That's beautiful. And I really love that answer for the fact that I do these interviews, I like to call them SilverViews, just a pun off of my name, because I believe that traveling and conversation is the antidote to ignorance.
It
So
is.
I just love the fact that you yourself going all over the world and you just looking around like you're just embracing the culture and becoming the culture that quick, like you're saying, smelling all the smells that you never smelled before. And you're just like, wow, this isn't in Ohio, this isn't in Cali, this isn't in America. And you
Yeah.
could come back and you could bring that and just share that thought with me. And I just love that, and I just embrace that with people just to keep traveling and keep just talking.
Yeah.
So I would like to ask you, because I was doing some research on you all, like just being for real this whole week. And I remember you saying, is this true or not? Did you want to become like not a pro wrestler, not a WWE wrestler, folks, but like you was actually into like wrestling before, like you wanted to be a wrestler before a track star?
Yeah, because I'm a daddy's girl and my dad wrestled. Like,
Okay.
to me it was just like, oh yeah, I need to wrestle. My dad wrestles, I'm wrestling. And like right before, um like I told you already, I'm from Elyria, right? So
Yes,
we have
ma'am.
one public high school. My
Wow.
dad's entire family was born and raised in Elyria, Ohio. So
Okay.
you walk through the halls, it's like his name is Robert. They called him Bobby. So it's like
Okay.
Bobby Madison, Gene Madison, Bobby Madison, like on the list of school records and stuff. So, and this is like the wrestling wall. And there's
Okay.
this mural of my dad. It's called Shooting, but shooting for the legs of another wrestler. And it's just,
Yeah.
I walk by this mural all the time and it's like so badass. And I'm like, I'm in my stance, like, naturally, that's going to be what I decide. That's what I thought. Like,
Yeah.
this makes perfect sense to me. I'm going to wrestle. I'm scrappy. My dad's the coach. He wrestled. He can teach me both at practice and at home away from the mat. Like, no brainer. My mom was on some other level. She was like, what?
Nah.
No. Like, why did you think that this was even a viable option for you? And I'm like, because dad did it. It
Yeah.
made no sense to me that I couldn't do it. But yeah, that's really what I wanted to do. And only
Wow.
because I did whatever sport was in season for whatever season it was. So if it was the fall, it was volleyball. Winter, basketball. Spring, it was wrestling or track. I had no real connection to track at that time. But
Okay.
wrestling, I've been going to wrestling matches with my dad since I was a toddler. Like, that was just
Wow.
what I thought I needed and should do.
Now, just curious because I was a wrestling fan growing up. Did you watch any like WWF growing up or anything like that? Was that in the household?
No.
Okay. I
I
just
didn't
had to
like
ask.
it. I didn't like it. I
I
thought it was
understand.
like too dramatic for me. We watched boxing matches. Like,
Okay.
I was allowed to stay up past my bedtime to watch boxing matches. I remember saving my allowance forever so that I could be the one to purchase the pay-per-view fights.
I know
Yes,
that's right.
that's where I was at. I didn't really care too much for that. Even when UFC and mixed martial arts became popular, it took me a long time to warm up to that, away from just the purity of what I thought was the purity of just wrestling plus just boxing. And my dad was a martial artist and he
Okay.
loved it, but I was just like, this is a lot. This is too much. I just need everything to be in its little category.
Yes, ma'am. I got you. Just real quick, who is your favorite boxer of all time?
Ooh, all time though?
Yes. I love putting all time at the end of the questions to make people think.
Okay, I like that you said favorite boxer of all time and not best boxer, because I can't even answer that question. So I will say my favorite, I went super, super hard for Felix Tito Trinidad.
Okay. Okay.
So hard.
Respect. I got you. I'm a just a new age kid, so I love Floyd, and if I was back in the day, Sugar Ray Robinson. But I
Yeah.
got you. Okay. Now I'm into movies as well. I would just like to personally think that FloJo needs a biop. Flores Griffin. If she were to have that coming, who would you think would be a good actor or actress for her, in your opinion?
Does it have to be an existing actress, or can it be like
Nope.
a track athlete who could?
Yes, ma'am.
I
It
would
could be Miss Tiana
definitely
B.
nah. I would petition for Jasmine Todd, who is a fellow sprinter jumper, to tackle the FloJo character.
Word.
Yeah.
Okay.
Look her
Sweet.
up if you don't know who that is.
I'm definitely going to Google her. I'm typing it right now. Now, Miss T, I have to ask you, in your writing skills, I see that you are really crafty with the pen. Who's your favorite author who inspired you to even get into writing, if anyone did?
I don't have a favorite author,
Okay.
but because I read everything. I will even read a book by someone I do not like,
Okay.
because every story is important, and I learned so much from how different stories are presented. It's learning to read, and my love of reading is the reason I can command the English language the way that I do. So if you want to be a good writer, you have to start with reading. There's just no way around that. But my style of writing actually came from a pastor, a
Wow.
preacher, basically. His name is Rob Bell, and
Okay.
he was part of the, I don't know what you call it, a leadership group at a church in Michigan. And I just love his conversational, like straight to the point kind of style. It read very conversational, but also poetic. It was very beautiful. And I really learned how to craft what I'm trying to say in that type of prose. So that came from him directly. Like I can point to, yeah, like this guy, this book is the reason I write in the style that I write. But to be completely honest, I write because I'm an introvert, and a lot of people don't know that about me or believe it, but I absolutely am my favorite company. I like being by myself. And even when I am around a lot of people and high energy with a lot of people, I have to go recharge by myself, probably for like a day before I can do it again.
I
And
understand.
writing allowed me to handle confrontation a little bit better. So this started when I was a kid. Like, you're not really allowed to say to your parents, like, oh, you just made me so mad, or you're not really allowed to do that. But what I would do is I would go in my room, I would write a whole letter. I would write a letter like, okay, so this is what I'm upset about. This is what you did. This is what I need. Like, I would write this whole thing. I would fold it up, slide it into an envelope, slide it under my parents' door, go back to my room, close the door, cross my arms, and wait. And usually, I'd hear some fussing like, did she just? Like, yes, I did. But it saved me from needing to stand in front of them, like toe to toe in the center of the ring, and like
Yeah.
argue my case or express my feelings, because I was uncomfortable doing that. And so that's where the writing started. I learned to communicate through writing.
Wow. Your parents definitely were like, yo, I don't know where we got this child from, but
Yep.
she is something right now on our hands. Wow.
Yep.
That's what's up, Miss B. Now I have to ask you, just because doing my research and just knowing the actual sport, the long jump is one of the most enduring, if it is just being for real, it's more enduring on the body than people think, because you really are putting a lot more pressure on your lower body than a lot people really think. So you got the first medal in '05, and then you got it back 10 years later. A lot of people like, yo, excuse my French, how the hell did she do that? Like, that is so dope. In my opinion, I know for a fact you were like, I just did this. Where were your mindset, first off, in '05 in the rain to
Yeah.
do that? And 10 years later, how were you like, just what was that process for you?
So the first title, I won that like coming off of my sophomore season in college. There was no pressure really. and I had a great year, undefeated. So it was like nobody expected anything of me, and my coaches didn't even expect anything of me. And it was really just go out there, shoot your shot, and try to take out as many people as possible on your way. That's kind
Yes,
of
ma'am.
what my attitude was. In terms of the weather, I didn't know any better. Like, I didn't know what the average world championship weather meant. Like, now I do. Now that I've been in the game so long, in August, I expect it to be a certain kind of weather,
Yeah.
but I didn't have that information. So I was like, oh, this is like Ohio. This is like outdoor track meet. Like,
Yes.
I'm used to this.
Yes.
Meanwhile, other professionals were kind of like, oh, this is horrible. These aren't conditions conducive to high performance. And they were really in their head about it. And I was just like, somebody told me that this medal was worth $60,000. And so you're asking me about the rain. What rain?
I
What
know
rain?
that's right. I know that's right.
So that's where I was at in 2005. But that attitude, that just raw hunger, that dissipated quickly, because one of the things that happened that I wasn't ready for was when you become a world champion at 19, and it's the first long jump medal in a long time in the US.
Wow.
They decide you're the second coming of Jackie Joyner-Kersee or something. And suddenly there's a pressure that did not exist 24 hours before. And now your coaches, your parents, your all your teammates are like, what now? My teammates didn't know how to deal with me. My coaches didn't know if I was going to go pro. My parents were just like, we're here, but like, we don't know how to navigate this. This wasn't one of your goals. You never went to school saying, I want to be pro. Like, this was never something we planned for. And so I proceeded to just fall apart. It's real easy to last in the sport for 10 years when 7 of them were trash. I'm going to just be honest with you. So between 2005 and 2015, when I got the second outdoor world gold medal, I spent 7 of those 10 years being mediocre, jumping the same distances I jumped in high school, because I didn't respond or react to the first success of that medal in a way that would set me up for sustainable success.
Wow. So you literally were not saying your biggest critic, but you had to be your biggest critic to get to where you're at right now, in a sense. Would you say that because you were saying those years, like some people look at those years like, those are mediocre. I couldn't do that. But it's like you had to push yourself to be in a better position. Am I right or wrong in your head mentally?
I would love to take credit for that, but honestly, somebody else had to like pull my head out of my own butt at that point. It was like, what are you doing? You spent so much time like mediocre. Like, sure, I was getting all these meets. I was able to ride on the coattails of having been a world champion in the past, getting appearance fees. So because the meet wants to be able to say, hey, this is a world champion. But I wasn't eating right. I wasn't sleeping right. I had horrible people around me. Like, none of the things that I had going on in my life were set up in a way that would allow me to be free enough to compete well anyway. And somebody needed to be like, when are you going to just stop bullshitting and do this thing? So it wasn't just me being hard on myself. It was like I really needed some guidance, somebody to be like, yo, if you really want to get back like you claim you do, you need to get it together.
Gotcha. It's always good to have that one in your ear. Now, just to transition real quick, because I'm really also big in yoga. Just got into a couple years ago, and I see you are like consistently on it. Yes, namaste, my queen. What is your all-time favorite yoga position? Do you have one?
So, excluding Savasana,
Okay.
I honestly think child's pose is one of my favorite poses to be in. I have lower back concerns. I'm not going to say issues because they're very managed.
Yeah.
But that is both a restorative, supported pose. You can turn it into a side stretch. You can do all kinds of things there. But most importantly, it grounds me enough to give me just enough space to know that I have whatever energy I need for the next thing. So even in like a vinyasa class, child's pose is offered up as a position you can always turn to when you need a minute, when you just
Right.
need to get it back together. And so it's also symbolic for me of transitioning. Like we're always in transition, but I can always return to this very familiar, very comforting, nourishing place before moving on to the next thing. So child's pose right now is one of my favorite. It changes though based
Yeah.
on like what I need, which is also why yoga is so cool, because you can take from the practice whatever you need at that moment, and the next day it might be something totally different.
And it also gives you a clear mind too. I just love yoga as well, Miss T. Not gonna lie to you, I love it as well. Now,
Yes.
just looking on the Instagram post of you, sorry, the Instagram bio of yours, not gonna keep you much longer. The first word that you have is human, and I love that fact that that's the very first word on your bio. And some people are like, well, of course we're human, but it's like for the fact that we are in this age now where it's like some people look at you and they see athlete, they see gold medals. They don't see you for you being you. They don't see you for just asking these regular questions.
Yeah.
Humanity is kind of gone in the sense now. What's your opinion on just 2020 and how just the human nature kind of in the world is slowly drifting away, I think. What's your opinion on that?
Yeah, I want to just say to you and everybody watching, we've been training our whole life for this year. Just think about that for a minute, because we're here now, and everything that's happened from the time we joined life on this planet till now has been preparing us for this moment. It's almost like we've been in training for this really horrible, tumultuous, volatile year. And it's like, do not, do not hesitate to use every single tool or resource that you have developed and learned along the way to get through this shit.
Yes, man, for sure.
And that's kind
That's
of where
awesome.
I'm at, because I was thinking about it, and it's like, years like this, they don't come out of nowhere, right? I mean, it doesn't live in a vacuum. It wasn't just
Right.
dropped on us. And we are who we are because we developed over time. So it's like, if we look at it like, I have been preparing my whole life for this, there's enough of an energetic shift in our mindset to be like, okay, what do I need to do to kind of get through this day, get through this month? And that's a much better feeling because it puts the control back on us in a
Yeah.
time when there's a lot of things not under our control.
That is such the that is probably the best way I've thought about it. I've never heard of it like that, but just hearing you say that, that makes me think about this whole year and just maneuvering through it way different. So I do appreciate you for giving me that answer, Miss T, for real. I'm about to close it out with a kind of light question because, like I said, I don't want to keep you much longer. Miss Tianna, I'm just so impressed by you. I gotta ask, what if do you eat on a cheat day? Do you have a cheat day or is there any cheat days of yours? Because I just believe that athletes, of course, you got to train your body to, of course, just as much you train in the gym to eat
Yeah.
the right stuff. But are there any cheat days for Miss TB?
Okay, so no, there aren't cheat days, but I'm not gonna lie and say that there aren't little snacks or meals that I don't like, my go-to, like, feel good. I will explain this though. I used to do the whole cheat day thing, and it wasn't sustainable for me because I was basically approaching eating and nutrition um, from a I'm restricted standpoint. Like, I can't do this and this and this until Saturday, when I can then totally binge and pig out. And then I'd hate the way I feel on Sunday, and Sunday is a very important day for me to kind of restore everything so that I can rock the next week. So
Yeah,
I had to really shift towards eating in a way that was both nourishing but sustainable. And so I needed to cheat less because I was enjoying the what I was eating, and my energy was, feeling pretty good. But when I just want to have something I like and that I just love, I love potato chips. Like, I
me too. I'm
love.
sorry.
And so one of the things that I do is I take salt and vinegar kettle cooked chips,
Okay.
line them up on a plate, And back when I was eating cheese, I no longer eat dairy. I would sprinkle blue cheese crumbles on top,
Okay.
melt them if I was feeling fancy, and then
Okay
drizzle
then.
balsamic vinegar on top of that. And like, and I don't do well with portion control when it comes to snacks. So I'm talking like a really big plate and just go in on my chips, blue cheese, and balsamic vinegar. And that would be like the thing. Brings me so much joy.
Everyone has their own, I just had to ask just because I was just curious. I'm like, it just has to be one. But that was just an amazing talk. I'm not gonna lie to you. Like I said, I appreciate your time. I respect your time. You came in right as soon as I came in, and I respect you giving me these 15 minutes, Miss T. And if I could just give you 1 minute of gratitude and tell you thank you, and thank you again, because you don't know how much you just gave me on a confidence level to keep doing this and
Yeah.
just keep venturing out. My coach, like just to share my story real quick, my coach back in 2013 in high school, he saw that I was a raw talent. I didn't even know I was fast until like my junior or senior year of high school. That's just letting you know, like I was just running and people were like, okay,
Yeah.
hurry up. And he was like, dude, watch this girl who's actually from Ohio. She does her thing. And he showed me your volunteer tape when you was out in Tennessee. And
Hmm.
I didn't know anything about the blocks. I didn't know how to run out the blocks. And you actually kind of helped me with that. You actually helped
Oh,
me with tying my shoes. You helped me. It sounds funny saying it with my running shoes. I didn't know the top lace was like for
yeah.
that. So Miss Tianna, thank you so much for just the inspiration that you do every day. And you probably don't even know it. You hear it all every day, but thank you again, like so much.
Thank you. Thank you for this
Yes.
chat. It was really enjoyable.
And if y'all don't know, that was Miss Tianna B, Tianna Bartoletta. Y'all can find her on IG. My name is Sterling, but y'all can call me Silver. We are already rolling, and this was another episode of Silver Rides. Miss Tianna B, thank you so much again, and you stay safe out here, okay?
Thank you. Namaste.
Namaste, sweet queen. Have a good one.